All right, you guys, welcome, dude and dudettes, to Undercity Chaos in the mind of the comic cover. I'm barely able to pull it off this week. I'm not at 100%, but still. I'm your host, MTR, also known as Matt the Rat, and as always,
Rene and Billy.
20th Century Man today. I'm going to go with that one.
As if you have so many alter egos.
I have a lot of alter egos. Bruce Wayne is an alter ego of mine. Oliver Queen.
I like how the Marvel guy is totally taking on all the DC
Otto
stuff
Octavius.
Did you see that Stephen Amell's Twitter? He took a picture with Loki yesterday.
No, but you want to hear something funny? Is that Scott Liddell, when they were talking about Hell, he goes, they're like, are you gonna write Hell a lot better and say all his powers? He's like, well, I was reading Fantastic Four for 30 years, and I still don't know how the hell Doctor Doom got his powers.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's like, so I don't think it really matters at this point.
Go, man.
This week we're going to be talking about, of course, episode 4 of season 4 of The Walking Dead.
Oh my
This
goodness.
week's brand
So
new
much to
comics.
talk about.
DC moving to Cali, and I will be bugging them on a daily basis.
Yeah.
The other half moving to Cali.
Yeah. Wonder Woman in talks. We're going to go ahead and break that down a little bit. Gotham becomes a reality for a special somebody. And, of course, this week's Arrow and our comic book review. So let's go ahead. Let's get on into it. Hey,
Me
guys.
and
How you
Billy are
doing?
really ready to talk. Hi,
Really good.
You guys doing good?
Oh, yeah.
Hi,
Yeah.
Danny.
If you guys do not recall, Kamikaze was this past weekend. I did go on Saturday. Got to meet some really cool people. Got to do some really cool things. One of them was the geek dating thing, which I might add was an epic fail.
Wait, whoa.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about that.
A lot of Marvel chicks or what?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't even that
Lot of
first. No, it wasn't that.
I'm into guys
So first
who can
off-
shoot webs.
First off, you go in and they're like, all right, you guys, there are 2 websites if you want to actually date. There's a geek2geek.com.
I tried that one.
How did that work?
Well, every like dating website, I'll be on it for 6 months, meet like maybe 2, go out with 1, and then like be like, I'm gonna go back to real life.
And then the other one is singlegeeksinla.com.
Nice.
So that's what the panel was called. And, like Billy just said, he's like, dude, like Marvel. And it wasn't even that. It was more like I walked in and I was like, comics? They're like Battlestar Galactica.
Ugh.
Comics? Doctor Who. Comics? Sherlock.
Oh, Sherlock.
I was like, shoot me! We're at Comic Kazi.
But you know,
I don't read a Sherlock
I'm
comic.
not gonna lie. One
there's
time,
a Sherlock Holmes comic.
I said Sherlock.
I once said comics, and girl said My Little Pony. Then I looked at her and was like, well, you're pretty hot.
I'll be your brony any day.
I'd be like, hey. It's like I can live with this.
But yeah, it was just no, couldn't do it. It was cool though. I did meet like the cool thing was it wasn't like, oh well, screw you, you don't read comics. It was like, oh, so I broke down comics, they broke down whatever they broke down. I got a few.
Because you weren't listening, of course.
No, well here was the icebreaker.
Your eyes just rolled.
The
back into
icebreaker
your
was
skull.
they put stickers on your back. And you had to guess who you are. And of course, I look at this girl and I go, just give me a freaking easy one because I swear to God I won't get it. And of course, like, when I finally guessed who I am, I was like, I'm in the Doctor Who universe, aren't I? Yeah! I'm one of, like, am I a doctor? No. Am I one of the Doctor's bitches? Yeah! And I'm like, all right, well, I know none of them, so I'm not about to pull up Google to read every single person that the Doctor's ever been with. So, which one am I? You're this. Don't know her. On to the next one. Like,
Well, we want to know who they think you were.
I don't remember. Why would I?
Why?
It's Doctor Who.
If you won't Google something for a girl, maybe you just weren't meant for her.
Yeah, that's true.
But there was a girl that like was what was she? She was like someone was Lois Lane. Someone was what's a doctor? Doctor. What am I saying? What's Magneto's real name again?
Oh, Eric. Eric.
Eric what? I can't pronounce that
Greshner,
German last name.
It's Jewish.
Is it Jewish? All right, that Jewish last
God,
name.
It's like a
really?
German last name.
He was in a concentration camp.
That was in the movies.
No, that was in the comics too, if I remember.
Oh, so that's why he's Magneto. He's trying to pull all the change out of the ground. He's like, I'm such a cheapskate.
Wow.
Just
Da-da-da-da-da-da. What? No, no one. All right, screw you guys.
Racist. All right.
I'm gonna take offense because 5 years ago I dated a Jewish girl, even though we only lasted 1 month, and I'm claiming this just like Big Lebowski, dude.
Did you have to pay for everything?
No. At one time, one date was her stealing a bottle from I forgot, Rite Aid, and we just drank it on the side of a cliff. And
You really you know how to choose them, don't you? Anyway, so yeah, single. It wasn't my cup of tea, but definitely if you're more into big geek culture, yeah. But obviously, I haven't broke down that fourth wall. Although this one girl did convince me to really try and sit down and watch Sherlock, which you also convinced me on.
Yes,
on your
it's a good show.
Yeah.
On your podcast.
I'd never seen it.
That was really cool. Powerpuff Girls did a reunion. Didn't know that the voice that does Buttercup is the same one that does Tommy Pickle. Tara Strong did many voices. Comic Book Man came up. They went ahead. They did a little something as well. Ran into, I believe his name is Julian Gomez. He does some of the art for Detective Comics. So I got him to draw me a variant, and it's with Carl's eye blown out from The Walking Dead, and there's blood gushing from it, and there's little buzzards or flies flying around it because it's rotting. It was cool. Got my Walking Dead sweater. Was really happy about that. Got these beautiful drawings of Batman, and other than that, it was just roaming around. A lot of cool stuff. What I really liked about it was that it was very geek culture driven. It wasn't anything was very out of place. They had this really cool Han Solo t-shirt, and it said "Fast Ship" with a question mark, but Han Solo was Christopher Walken's. So it was "Fast Ship." And I was I love it. And I was going to get it, but I was
I love a lot of this new merchandise.
Nice.
I really got to find that.
in a bucket of cream.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to find that Batman shirt. It has the Bat logo, but instead of saying Batman, it says Affleck on it.
Oh,
I really need that shirt.
I think they had that, believe it or not. You know what they did have, and I thought it was pretty awesome? They had Walking Dead, and it was Ewoks as zombies.
That is awesome.
I was yeah. But it was really cool. I had an amazing time. Only 4 people knew me as
Superboy.
I was very disappointed in that. But
Did you want to punch the universe back into?
No, but they did mention that in the panel. I was gosh, I want to sock Billy right now.
You know, one of Superboy Prime's evil plan was to resurrect all the previous Superboys.
Well, they're actually switching out Superboys in this new annual of Teen Titans. We'll go ahead and break that down a little bit later.
Was it John Kent, right?
Yeah. So one of the
Mark Wolfman, I love you.
They did a DC versus Marvel panel on who was the superior one, and it was really weird because the DC guy was talking more about Marvel, and the Marvel guy was talking more about DC. Now, here's the cool thing that I did not know, that the same person that created, I think, Deathstroke is the same person that created
Deadpool.
So apparently, Deadpool is in the Marvel universe. He draws him in it. It's not specifically Deadpool, but he has the same eye.
Wait, he's in the Marvel universe or in the DC?
No, he's in the DC universe.
Oh.
And they go, did you purposely put Deadpool into the DC universe? And he goes, well, yeah, think about it. He's the only person that could ever do it. So somewhere you could find the comic of the first appearance of Deathstroke. You will find Deadpool in the DC universe.
What?
Yep, true story. I actually want to hunt down that comic. So that was pretty cool when I heard that. But other than that, I was Iron Man versus Batman. And
do you know that guy?
Well, this, and that. And I was they answered my question. No, this sucks. But it was cool to hear them argue about stuff and throw out facts and whatnot. So that was really cool. What about your weekend?
Not much. Just my 3DS came in the mail.
Yes, let's talk about it.
My weekend,
Whoa. Let Rene finish, man.
Let's hear this.
We're
Zelda.
talking the DS.
No, it's just this thing was this thing came in the mail from because I ordered off of Amazon, and it's really cool because I've been able to get Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. So from the N64, so it's cool that they converted it to a portable handheld game. So
And not only that, those graphics, dude, you were showing me.
Oh yeah, they
they
improved it.
they updated it very well.
Yeah, it's not all blocky.
Some of it
It still has
like
that
when you
Nintendo-
crawl up the things, the vines they did not detail, but like Zelda,
Well, I read that they wanted to keep like the N64 graphics the same a bit, but yet try to
just
'cause they
clean
build
it up.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
what they did, they just made it from scratch. The graphics, they built it all from memory.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like, oh wow. So I gave him more respect for that.
Nice. What about you, Billy?
My weekend. My sister came to visit, so it was really mostly staying in. But as far as comic book stuff goes, besides The Walking Dead, which we're going to talk about, I did catch the new episode of Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah,
was
how was
that?
that?
It was good. The only downside was that it was announced that the new episode was going to be called Meet Casey Jones, and instead it wasn't. It was Follow the Leader, which was
Oh, I love Casey Jones. He was the guy with the hockey mask.
yeah, he was actually also a parody character. The guy who created him was like, dude, let's make somebody who goes out as a hero in their sweats and tennis shoes. And we'll just give him a generic mask.
That's awesome, dude.
And
I
so
love that.
yeah, that is what Casey Jones was. But he will be played by Josh Peck. And also Corey Feldman's gonna join the show. He's gonna play Slash.
Really?
Actually, I'm so sad I jumped into the show late, but it is really good. So that was as far as comic book stuff goes. I went to a party with a girl and met another girl who was into Aquaman, and
You could have just said you went to a party. You didn't have to address that you went with a girl to leave her for another girl.
I'm a scumbag.
Can we just write dick across your forehead so people know or get it tattooed?
Does my face not say it as it is?
Yes.
I knew it. She was just out of nowhere, she was like, "Oh my god, have you heard of this guy called Jeff Johns?" And I was like,
Yes.
just instantly, I told this girl, I was hold my beer, and I went to sit with the other girl. I was like, tell me more.
Who is this Jeff Johns you speak of? Oh, he wrote Aquaman.
Yeah, it was basically
What is Aquaman? I'm so intrigued. In the back of your head, you're like, you don't know anything, but this is awesome.
she was just opening the door for me. She's just I hate it when people diss Aquaman because he's so awesome, and it was this girl just fell into my trap.
I'm surprised Rene didn't come by and push you by the face and go on about Aquaman. Just out of the blue. And be how did you do that? And be I can break the fourth wall as well.
Unlike you, I was just the thing is with I don't care, dude. If they're short, I don't care. They're black, Native American, Jewish, Asian, Filipino.
They just got to talk about comics.
If they're short and they talk about comics, you just cut
You
in
just
line.
said it didn't matter if they're short. Now you say if they're
They
short.
have to be short.
I don't know. I had someone that was short and talked about comics, and she ain't around anymore.
We'll just leave it as that.
We're good friends. All right, Mario, Sony man.
I never do anything on the weekend, man.
Bull, you have an amazing podcast
I'm an old man.
called The Superiority Complex.
Renee will be
which
my
is
guest
superior
this
to
weekend.
no, I'm joking.
Renee,
What are you guys going to be breaking down?
Renee, we didn't break down
find
anything.
out.
You'll find out. We told toilet stories.
Oh, dude, then I should have been there.
No, I'm glad you weren't because you would have just gone. We didn't even. It didn't make it onto the podcast, but those are some disgusting stories. Oh no, it didn't.
Oh gosh, you guys really did talk about.
Yeah, we
talked-
did talk
we
about
talked-
a little bit because
Yeah.
one of the other people works at Lowe's, so he was telling us a story.
Oh, it's going to be like a Doctor Who panel or something.
Yes.
huh?
Yeah, it's it was
Yes.
basically just 4 people the whole panel.
That's nice.
Including me, myself, and Mario.
I still want to jump onto Mario's because he was talking about something, but he said it's bad juju.
We're talking about Halloween, and we're talking about ghost stories.
Oh
And
yeah.
then I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to turn this into my podcast. And then Matt said he has the gift. What? Tell us about the gift, Matt.
All right. Do you
I'm
want,
serious.
Do you
I'm
want
serious.
me? Do you want me to break down how I got it or just what I have?
You can break it however you want to break it down.
So basically, my dad never admitted to my mom that throughout his life he's had outer body experiences, and then my dad does know with my mom. My mom, she knows she senses spirits, and not only that, but her dead sister, comes to her in her dreams and tells her and forewarns her stuff. So my firstborn, the firstborn is my sister, and then it's me. My sister received none of this, and I freaking received all of it. So I've had at least 4 or 5 outer body experiences, and several encounters with ghosts and other stuff that are not ghosts that are scary as hell. And yeah, I told him since they were talking about it, I was like, dude, why don't I just like come on and we'll talk about it, and Mario can take it away from here.
That is scary. It is. I don't know. Like, I guess we talked about this on my podcast, whether or not I believe that kind of stuff.
And
But
you
when
broke
people-
down that story that
when-
your friend had at Biola.
Yeah, when people have stories about stuff that's happened to them, then I get all freaked out, man. I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it, okay? I'm a scientist, man.
Do you want to spend time with them in a snowed-in hotel taking care of it?
Yeah.
A friend of mine just went to see The Shining.
You know, he actually just wrote a sequel to the book now.
I've heard that.
Yes.
I've heard that. That is one movie that to this day...
Does not scare me.
No, but it's not that it's scary. It's not a horror movie in that sense, but it is a very unsettling movie.
Yes.
The things you see in it.
It's
and
very
whatnot.
uncomfortable to watch. It's not
The elevator with all the blood.
Yeah, it's
And
not
then, like those creepy twin girls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're never at ease watching the movie. It's not super it's not something where stuff pops out at you and you're like, oh my god. But it is a movie that like has a definite feeling to it and one that is just very uncomfortable.
So you're not down to do like a podcast in that room at that hotel?
Actually,
oh my god.
No, come on.
So you're not down? Like you're
As if it was mentioned before.
I'm
like
really
you're surprised.
really excited about today's podcast. We actually got some really good topics.
I know,
today.
right?
What?
Like, no kidding. Like, I really I saw the schedule and I was like, oh man, like we're gonna talk about some hot stuff.
You know why? Because we're like, what do we need to get Billy engaged?
I'm not gonna lie.
I think it's because he missed out last week, so he's pumped
Yeah,
for
you
this
did,
week.
man.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I saw the whole list and I was like, oh, dude, we're tackling everything just right.
Yes. Are you ready though?
I am so ready.
So yeah, dude, if you want to bring me onto your, I would really like to do a panel on the podcast.
I'm
with that.
afraid
We could do it here, so the bad juju just comes to Undercity instead.
We're messing with powers we don't know.
Sue.
I like how the only one person dies and it's the black guy.
Where? In what?
And what?
The Shining.
Oh, that's right.
I'm like, a black guy died in Walking Dead this week? When did that happen?
Who has seen the original Night of the Living Dead?
I have.
Okay, I went to see Riff Tracks, which is the guys left over from Mystery Science Theater, and they did Night of the Living Dead. That was the
how was
It was
it?
awesome. It was sold out at our theater.
Yet
but
he
it was-
wouldn't tell us about that. We're like, what did you do this weekend?
No, I did.
Nothing
This is a
special.
couple weeks ago. But one of the greatest jokes is that scene where he goes, he's trying to get the girl to calm down. He's all, look, I know you're scared. I'm scared too. And the riff was, yeah, I'm the only black guy in this horror movie. And what happens? We don't want to ruin it for you. Spoiler alert, but there was someone in the theater that had obviously never seen the movie because at the end they're just like, what?
They shoot 'em all.
It was really awesome.
How have you never seen the... Oh,
It was
man.
good stuff.
It's a
though.
public domain movie. I mean, you can look it up online.
Yeah.
For free.
Can you really?
Yeah.
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 It's.
Did you see the remake?
You can look it up. I did the '90s one.
Yes.
I have it.
Was
I
it
love
good?
I
Did
do
you
love
like it?
It was
They
the only
switched the
remake I
ending
liked.
ridiculously.
What you can tell me.
The black guy ends up dying, and then
He turns. Yeah.
He turns, and then it's that racist asshole, his wife and the daughter, and then he ends up throwing them into the cellar. But the daughter was bit, wasn't she?
That was in the original.
That
too.
was in the original, yeah.
The twist ending is just the dad lives and so does the young girl Barbara.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
But then what's it called when they both make it, and the whole little pack of hunters comes and saves them. Yeah, I guess the guy hears them and it's and he comes down from the attic and he looks at Barbara, is like, we made it, and then Barbara just doesn't give a fuck, just pops him in the head, and the hunter's like, what? It's like, oh, just another body for the pile.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I have the DVD. It was the only remake I liked. I did
Really?
not
You
like
didn't
Dawn
like
of
the
the Dead.
Evil Dead remake? I like the Evil Dead.
No, I
remake.
mean as far as the Night of the Living Dead
Oh, okay,
and the
yeah.
Dead series remakes.
I like Day of the Dead a lot. A lot of people don't talk about
The-
Day of the
the
Dead.
original?
Yes.
You know what scene
What
creeps
do you mean
me
the
the
original? They didn't remake it. Not
they
Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, by the way,
Day of the
Day of
Dead.
the Dead
was
Where they're
re-
in
they
the
did.
army base?
Yeah.
Day of the
They did
Dead.
that.
Day of the Dead was remade.
Nick Cannon was in it.
Oh,
And-
shut up.
And Mina Savari.
My
it
man.
was-
Oh, dude, we got to do that on Flickdicks and just tear it a new one, man.
it sucks. The
My
Day
man.
of the Dead original was great. I love the villain.
I love the
guy
I love
who
the
yells a
special
lot.
effects, dude.
it was
When
special.
that zombie leans up and all its guts just fall out, you're just like, oh my god, I
I'm
want
not
to
gonna
puke.
lie. There was one scene that still disturbs me to this day from that movie.
That was the one that disturbed me.
The
What
one that
was it for
disturbed me
you?
the most is like when they're tearing one of the guys apart and he's screaming, and they start tearing his throat and it rips his vocal cords,
and it
changes the pitch of his scream. That always stayed with me.
Yeah.
Really?
Is that in Day of the Dead or is that
Day
Dawn
of the Dead? That was Day of the
Is that in
Dead.
the original Dawn of the Dead?
That was Day of the Dead, and I remember that has always stuck with me. Like always been one of the.
If it's
creepiest
haunted him, you know it's
No, you know
right.
what?
Yeah.
Because I remember that very vividly. The first time I saw that too, I was like, "Whoa!" And that's a good one. You know what? Did you guys get to see how George Romero ripped Walking Dead, which will lead us right into our first topic?
No.
I did.
Well, my friend wrote it as like a defense because he doesn't like The Walking Dead, so he's always trying to get people on the anti-Walking Dead train. He's like, "See, I told you."
So he's one of those guys.
Yeah, and it was George Romero saying like, he doesn't like Walking Dead. He wrote it off as like a soap opera. He said they've asked me to be on it, but it's a soap opera. But then when you keep reading the article, he basically hates everything. He hated World War Z. He hated. He basically hates anything that isn't his movies. Like he hates 28 Days Later. So it was just like an old man ranting, and it was much more of an old man ranting than him having an actual like
argument.
Is it like,
it wasn't even.
Is
an
he like the
argument?
Frank Miller of zombie
Yeah,
movies?
he hated the remake. He hated the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
He's like, I basically changed the mediums, crapped on my own mediums, and I want to crap on everyone else's too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. That is awesome.
Because honestly, I would have respected him if he would have stopped at Land of the Dead. Like I was like, all right, didn't actually get better, but I could accept it. But like
he didn't do anything after Land of the Dead.
Yeah, he did 2 more.
What did he do?
Diary of the
The
Dead.
Dead and Survival of the Dead.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
So is it Diary of the Dead is like a found.
Those are like straight to DVD though, right?
Oh my god, dude!
Yeah.
Diary of the Dead, found footage movie.
Oh gosh.
And it is
Yeah,
shit.
it's like Cloverfield.
Oh, dude, I think I remember that one. And then they end up at like some stupid safe haven like house, right? And it has cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
And then like you see everybody die through that, right?
And then like the last one was worse. In a random fact of trivia, I did learn something though. Tom Savini was the first recurring character in the Dead movies.
Yeah, because he comes back. He was the biker in Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, he was a biker in Dawn of the Dead, and he comes back as a zombie in Land of the Dead.
George A. Romero, this is for you.
That is one big pile of shit.
Here, I got it. You want me to read the quote for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
They asked me to do a couple of episodes of The Walking Dead, but I didn't want to be a part of it, Romero told The Big Issue. Basically, it's just a soap opera with a zombie occasionally. I always use the zombie as a character for satire or political criticism, and I find that missing in what's happening now. In 2011, Romero said he loves The Walking Dead comics, but hasn't seen any of the episodes at the time. But hadn't seen any of the episodes at the time. Listen, I love Frank Darabont. I know he's done a good job. I love the books. I never watched any of the episodes because my zombies are sort of my own. I didn't want to be part of it. Producers called me and said, "Do you want to direct some of these?" And I said no because I just didn't think it was me. In a 2012 interview, Romero said The Walking Dead was a little too close for comfort. But wait, there was another article that I will read for you. But keep going, keep talking, because there's another
So,
one.
you know that
so basically, he keeps trying to compare. Whenever a zombie movie comes out,
I did like the first
all he
three.
does
compares it to
is-
himself.
yeah.
The first 3 really did it great. Like there was some underlying things to it that was just
What that was night, dawn, and day, right?
yeah.
Because technically Return of the Living Dead
It's something
was-
else.
yeah.
and
It's
then
totally
even
different,
even Land of the Dead still had like this underlying thing about like immigration and all that. You
Did
know?
it?
Yeah, they all have this underlying theme, and like even Diary of the Dead, I can kind of see the theme. Like we're kind of hooked on technology, but I was like, I wasn't really into it.
I thought it was more of a comedy, but that's
Here we
just
go.
me.
Romero also said he's been less than impressed with other films that owe a debt to his works, including Zack Snyder's remake of Dawn of the Dead and World War Z. Of the changes made to the mythos, including running zombies, Romero told the newspaper, "I guess Zack Snyder started that with the remake of Dawn of the Dead, fast-moving zombies. But in the zombies in World War Z, they're like army ants."
Yeah,
There you go. And he said, "Zombie fans." I'm looking around the table.
Yeah.
He said, "I feel like Watchmen fans. You can reason with them, you know. When they have you in an alley, you can talk your way out of there." Meaning like comic book fans. But zombie fans are certainly much more, especially before the movie came out. and we were just talking about what the movie would be. He just starts rambling. But he's basically talking about how zombie fans are really strident and they don't want any changes or anything like that. Gee, I wonder where they get that from, George.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's go ahead. Let's get into it. All right, you guys, you know what that means. It's time to break down the latest episode of The Walking Dead.
Let me break it down like I see every episode every week.
In French?
Yes. I will get to that later, but to me, Walking Dead is nothing. 10 minutes of excitement at the end that gets you to watch the next episode.
No,
It's like some twist. Like, don't get me wrong, there was some meaty stuff in the middle this time.
I think this season, though, has been... They've really cut back on a lot of those. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know which episodes... Season 2 was full of episodes like that.
Oh, Season 2 was a boring-ass farm. The farming life.
But I think this season has been really good about really giving us more zombies and more stuff happening.
Yeah.
And I think right now, I think this is like the pilot. I think a lot of people were mad about the pilot.
Yeah.
Where they said the pilot was really about setting the table. I think this is really setting the table for what's events that are going to happen. They're going to kind of come to head.
I addressed that. Yeah, remember I said, like, they said the first 3 or 4 episodes, like, we're going to set everything up.
Yeah.
And from there, it's just building from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this one's going to we're going to pause, or we're going to set the table. And this is going to carry us into the next, because we're coming up on a break, I'm sure. Because they always do a break at, like, the 6th or 7th episode.
Yes, this is
they do
true.
that.
But,
Which is annoying, because then they only leave us with 4 episodes at the end. It's like, what's the point of the break? I don't need
because
it.
they want to just spread it out.
Yeah, there's a lot of mid-season breaks now. That's popular in shows.
Is it?
Yeah.
Do they do that with, like...
Arrow does
They
it.
do it like around like this time of the year, or even like towards around the middle of November.
And then come back in January.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot of
I
shows
think
been doing
I
that.
think Walking Dead doesn't come back till February.
Well, you know why they do it, though? A lot of it has to do, I think, with football, because you have football, you have the playoffs coming in, like, late November, December.
Yeah, who knows
And
what
then,
those
and
next
then
thing.
so you got all that, so that nobody wants to compete with that.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's go ahead. Let's break down the episode right now. I do... No, we're not going to play it a second time. No power round
We don't
music
have a
either.
power round this week, huh?
We
we'll come
don't,
up with
but you
one.
know, we always come up with
Okay.
one.
Power round.
No, Walking Dead right now.
I got a power round for
Okay.
Walking Dead.
What?
What?
Team Rick or Team Carol?
No, over
No.
there's... Nope.
Come on.
Okay.
What happened?
No.
Team Rick or Team
Nope.
Carol?
Nope. Wait.
Wait.
Can we get into this right now?
Well, first we gotta talk about what happens and why
So-
is it Team Rick and Team Carol? Right?
Spoiler
So,
alerts.
Spoiler alert.
did you guys watch The Talking Dead after?
Spoiler alert. Team Rick and Carol started
There wasn't
in the
really
police
anyone
station,
that
the
I
prison.
wanted to see on the Walking.
Oh,
on the
really?
Talking Dead,
Mike from Comic Book Man ended up coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was such a crappy cross promotion.
Huh?
That was such a crappy little. Oh, look who happens to be
Oh,
here.
I know, right?
Well, you know why he
Because
was
he was
on
there
it,
for
right?
Kamikaze.
Exactly. So I thought that was pretty cool. I like that. I dug it.
You don't like Talking Dead?
The only reason why I watched Talking Dead one episode was because Nathan Fillion was in it.
You don't like to watch Chris Hardwick slam Marilyn Manson?
You know what?
Yeah,
Like,
what was up with that? It bugged
I-
the crap out of me. I was like, let the man talk, and they're like, well, Manson was going on random rambling rants. And
He
it's
kind of
like,
was.
but he was making really good points with everything. He was like diagnosing everything. He was the breaking
Well, I think
down.
the thing was that he just wasn't letting the other guests talk. Like he just kept, like he would always be the first one to answer, and his answers were like 5 minutes long, and it's like,
I did think it was funny that you could tell they purposely cut his mic, and he even called them out on it at the very beginning. They're like, oh, you guys are giving me the microphone? Oh, yeah, because you guys already cut out my other mic.
yeah, probably. But I mean, you have the producer of the show, the executive producer of the show, like let her fucking talk, Marilyn Manson.
They're probably like, dude, you know it would be cool to have Manson. I heard he's really into it. And then when he came on, they're like, shit, he talks a lot.
He's like, because you think he's going to be like,
We thought Matt the Rat was bad.
because he was basically like a super fanboy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Are you laughing about myself, you jerk?
Sorry. Is that my mic? No, you didn't cut out my mic. I was
No,
hoping you
no,
were
no,
cutting
no,
mine. I was like, I'm going to laugh for a while.
No. I choked on my spit right now. But you know what? I did like that how is that funny? I did like how basically this was everybody coming out with their flaws, but I think there was only one person that didn't do it, and that was Rick.
Yeah.
Everybody stepped up to like, look, this is how I am, this is how I am, this is how I am, this is how I am. And Carol even tried to like call him out, like, dude, you're a farmer? You're just going to be a farmer? And I feel like Rick still doesn't know his place yet. Like, he knows he was a good leader, but it's just like...
Oh, no, he knows his place. That's what that whole last 10 minutes was about. That was him reasserting his power.
Yeah,
I
no, I'm not
think
gonna
it's
lie.
coming
This
back.
episode ended with like the internet blowing up with like it was like everybody was a Harvard professor, just like analyzing every side of the issue. Like I think almost like I saw almost all sides of the issue on the internet. Just like I saw every point everybody made. I was really into it this time.
Yeah, it was a good episode. And you know what? Glad...
It was a talk
Hey,
about
he
episode.
didn't kill Carol, but she's out of there. So
She'll be back to save him.
oh man,
She's either going to hook up...
That's what I felt, and you want to know why?
She's either going to hook up with a governor...
Oh gosh, imagine. No, but what my
Renee's making a face.
my other theory is that when the 2015 season comes, they might branch it off with Carol as the leader.
Wait, what?
Yeah, she'll start her own...
Her own clickety clan. I was thinking that might be the
Probably,
possibility to set up for that, but
Huh? Shh, we don't talk about that.
did you just kill your own mic?
Yeah, so you can talk to him.
Yeah, we'll do this.
We'll
at
talk
the
about
break.
it
Yeah,
after
what are
the
you
show,
doing?
Come
You're
on.
trying to talk during
Hold
mid-show.
Show me the
Your
picture.
huevos, okay?
But from there, not only that, you have Michonne, which like finally dealed like she's done with chasing the governor.
Yeah, she finally came to realize that what she was doing was really no point. It was like a waste of time.
Yeah.
Almost.
It's not that it was a waste of time, but it was like we have bigger situations at hand. I shouldn't be worrying about that.
Yeah.
And then
Eh.
same thing with the freaking alcoholic. Obviously, is
Love him, the kid from The Wire.
obviously not going to be able to deal with his issues. He knows what his issue is,
Yeah.
but I don't know. What's Daryl? What does Daryl have to?
Daryl's that was Daryl that was Daryl was trying to make a friend finally, or trying to I think Daryl's thing is he doesn't really need anybody. He didn't want to be part of that, and now it's like his family.
Yeah.
And I think,
He's like the big brother that he didn't want to be big brother, but everyone saw him as it.
yeah, and I think that was kind of that was a nice little moment that he had with a guy that before you knew he was an alcoholic, because he was kind of willing to say, hey, look, we all have problems, whatever, and write it off. But at the same time, Daryl's the kind of guy that's going to be like, he's going to give you a shot, but if you blow it, that's it, you're done.
Yeah.
But see, and that's basically what. And that I think that was the mess up thing where he was like, "Hey, dude, like, it's all right." And then he's like, "Oh, now you're putting us in lives harm again."
Yeah.
And for what? Alcohol.
Yeah. Because he was able to, he wrote him off the first time. He said it, he was like, hey, don't blame yourself, because the guy was basically saying, I got that guy killed.
Yeah.
Because he put the bottle down so hard he didn't want to, but, and so Daryl knew he was struggling, but then to know that, that the hold, it's basically showing that guy's weak. I can't think of the guy's name.
Bob.
Is that his name, Bob?
They believe that's what they call him online.
Bab.
I guess.
Bab. But yeah.
He's the army med guy, right?
Yeah. But yeah, his hold was, the alcohol was so strong, the hold that he was willing to die.
Yeah, he was willing to fight off walkers.
Like walkers for it.
Yeah.
So that this thing has a hold of him. But Daryl knows that he can't he has to write him off because that guy's just that thing. If you're willing to almost get pulled head first into a pile of zombies, then there's nothing that Daryl can do for him. So Daryl's just
because the
fuck
other
it.
thing I would be mad about was what if, considering how tight knit of a group they can be, is what if they actually went after him, and then they found out they just missed their ass for that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it did culminate in a cool I think what everybody's been calling a "come at me, bro" moment.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gay, but I was wetting myself over that. I was like, "Oh, look at you go, Daryl."
Well, Daryl's really kind of shown himself to be a leader, which you kind of always knew he could be, but he just didn't want any part of it.
What about Tyrese?
He doesn't want the responsibility.
Tyrese right now is angry. I like that whole thing with Michonne saying, "Look, I let all my anger go. I'll kill the governor because it's what needs to be done, but I'm not going to be mad about it. She's not letting it. She's not letting it, and that's why she's kind of able to kind of go, all right, I'll hang out with you guys for a while. It's not it's not Ahab and the white whale for her,
One
which right
thing-
now it is for Tyrese.
One thing I did like, and we both read it in the comic books. They did have the fight between Rick and Tyrese.
That's
It
right.
may have not been over power.
No, and they also had the fight where Tyrese is like overwhelmed and you think he's going to die by the zombies.
Yes, when he originally
Which
gets
happened on
trapped in the
basketball
gym.
court.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they take little elements now.
Yes,
and
and I
then,
love it when they do it because I'm like, oh, I've seen this before. Holy crap! And that's why when he comes out through the woods.
I think
you're
that
like,
is the
yeah.
best thing about any comic book show. You don't need to read the comic book, but if you do, you have an enhanced experience.
Yeah.
Kind of like with
When they
Arrow.
pull stuff
Yeah.
in, you're like, oh my god, the League of Assassins! Yes!
By the
There
way,
was more. Like there has been so many good moments, and like we will get to that. But that's really something that like I don't read Walking Dead, but I notice people like you really get
Yeah,
enhanced experience out of it.
So, with that being said, whose predictions have came true so far? I think I said I wanted Carol to die, but I think I wanted Carol to be out or like I wanted her to die, so I guess it's like half right. Did anybody others predictions come true?
I didn't
yet?
know. I didn't. Want
I
Carol
didn't
to
see
die.
this. I didn't see this coming. I thought
didn't see
I didn't see a boot out, to be honest. I saw a killing, but I didn't see a boot out. And that's why the only reason I really believe is that she's going to either start something or come back is because they had she wasn't on The Talking Dead. Every time somebody dies or has a goodbye, they're on The Talking Dead.
Okay, what I didn't expect was those two little idiots they found. They're like, oh, we'll totally be fine.
the hippies.
Oh yeah, they die. I was like,
Oh, no,
what
we
the
don't-
hell?
No, the dude
Okay.
isn't dead.
Yeah,
Here's what's going to happen. Rick's going to go back with some story about what happened to Carol,
Yeah.
and he's going to go back and go, "Oh no, I saw that girl." He's going to say Carol died on the way to blah 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 or whatever, and the guy's like, "Oh, I saw that girl." He's going to make his way to the prison, and he's going to say, "I saw you with," and it's going to cause all this trouble.
I don't think Rick is going to lie about
Someone mentioned this online, and they said that subconsciously, Carol wanted those two people to die.
Yeah, when I saw
That's
that,
why she sent them out. So yeah, go for it. You go.
it. Yeah,
scout.
the one that can't run.
yeah,
She's like they'll be. It's just like somebody said like yeah, it's like subconsciously like without saying it, she wanted them to die.
And also
she didn't
that-
want to like bring them along.
and also that was a moment where Rick really had to, like, what I saw there was also her undermining kind of Rick.
yeah,
Like her saying, like, we don't need you anymore, Rick. You're not the leader, so I'm going to tell them they can do whatever. Like before, Carol would just be like, Rick would say, "You guys stay here," and Carol would have been like, "Okay, yeah, you guys stay here, and we'll go forage." But it was her really taking that power away from Rick and going, "No, go ahead, and we'll meet you guys here." And you could see it on Rick's face, like, "What are you doing?" Like I've already kind of, and then Rick kind of realized, okay, well, I'm not the leader anymore, but I guess he's trying to reassert himself, and so I think that was the moment where that was also something where. But that great moment where he says, like, I was such it was like me and my wife when she goes, "I murdered two people." He's like, "What do you want me to say?" But he had already made up his mind, obviously, because he took her along.
I
Yeah.
think he might have let her stay, but like, I think he was like debating within himself. But everything she was doing was like, all right.
She was just nitpicking. Like honestly, she should have just shut her damn mouth.
yeah. And he
Shouldn't
might
have
have
said
Spoken
shit.
like a true misogynist.
no
Like,
offense, like she.
That's you haven't said anything about it, and it's like you said, like, what do you want me to say? If she wouldn't have, it's like, dude, it's like when you have a problem and you know the problem's there, and you're just like, I'm just gonna let it go. She's like,
Yeah.
no, let
She's
the
gotta keep
scab
picking
is
at-
right here, is
She's
it?
got to keep picking
Let's
at
leave
it.
it
She didn't
open.
say like once those kids were dead. She didn't say like, oh, those were some nice kids. She's like, that was a nice watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and she was just kind of, that was her being like, just like having the last word too. Going
Yeah.
like, it was foolish for you to give the kids.
Like you could tell he really wanted them to be alive. He was like,
Yeah.
dude, let's stick around some more.
And
minutes.
that's Rick's weakness is that if there's one thing you could say between the characters is that Carol has grown like callous and said like, okay, you're gonna die. That's why she wouldn't let the little girl call her mom.
But Rick wasn't always like that. Remember when when it was the
Rick is
Michonne, when it was the Michonne, it was Michonne, Carl, and Rick, and they went back to where Rick and Carl are from, and they had the hiker. What happened to the hiker?
Oh, they
the
let
guy
him
that started.
go.
Wait.
Yeah, but
what did they do? They drove right past
But
him.
what
then
was the
they-
difference?
Rick is inconsistent.
Rick was a douchebag.
No, what
man.
was the difference? Who was in the car?
Michonne.
No. Who else is in
Carl.
the car?
Daryl.
Carl.
Oh, that's right.
If it's about Carl, that's it. That's the only.
No,
that's
but
gonna-
that wasn't the reason
But that-
why he passed, though.
No, but yeah, he's not going to stop with Carl because you don't know what the hiker's going to do. He's going to put him in danger. It's the same thing.
No,
with-
that was at the time when they were like, we're not taking any more people in because that was the Tyrese moment as well.
But it's the same thing to bring. It's the same thing bringing Carol.
It's
like,
because what's her face was all in the picture, even though she was already dead. She was still bugging the shit out of her.
yeah. He was all haunted. By the way, we're coming up on the worst line in movie history. We're watching Hellboy here in the store.
What
It's
is
coming
it?
up.
The Snickers?
No,
thing or
there are things that go bump in the night,
And
and we are the ones who bump back. Worst line ever.
It
dude.
sounds like someone that like twerks.
Really? More than
Doesn't that sound like a twerker?
More than what?
I'm the juggernaut, bitch.
That's pretty bad too.
No, I actually like that line a lot.
Well, I'm the juggernaut, bitch.
Hello?
That really didn't need an accent.
Hello, hello. I'm the juggernaut.
All right, you guys, any more predictions for The Walking Dead?
Carol. When we see Carol again, she will have a full head of beautiful hair.
Bob will die or he'll get someone killed.
Zombies.
Bob's gonna. I
Ooh.
see Bob making it because Bob.
This is Bob. Bob has bitch tits.
Yeah. I see Bob making it, and I see Bob being around for a while.
I hope not.
They're bringing everybody in that was on the wire, so it's pretty soon that whole show, everybody from that show, Tyrese, Bob, they're all going to be on it. You know who's going to be in it now? He was on. He was in Pacific Rim, Stacker Pentecost, the Marshal.
The
Idris Elba.
Yeah.
He was the right hand man in the war. He'll be on Walking Dead soon, pretty soon. Watch. That's my prediction.
All right, you guys, let's go ahead. Let's get into this
You
week's.
never answered the question. Team Rick or Team Carol?
No,
There is no team
he's
with
not
Carol.
gonna
I'm
answer
Team
that.
Carol all the way. Man.
I'm
She's-
Team Carl. All right, guys, let's go into this week's brand new comics. Go ahead and take it away, Rene.
All right, so this week we got Action Comics, Alex plus Ada, Amazing X-Men #1, Army of Darkness versus Hack Slash, Baltimore Imperial Train, Batman Black and White, Batman Superman, Batwing, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Catalysm Ultimate /Stand, Catalysm Comics, Daredevil Dark Knights, Detective Comics, Django Unchained hardcover, Doctor Who Prisoners of Time, Drumheller, Earth 2, East of West, Emerald City of Oz, Phantom X Max, Fatale, Forever Evil, Ghostbusters, Ghosted, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Grindhouse Doors Open at Midnight, Hinderkind, Iron Man, Judge Dredd Classics, Justice League of America, Legends of Red Sonja, Longshot Saves Marvel Universe, Marvel Knights Spider-Man, Marvel Universe Hulk's Agents of Smash, Marvel's Captain America First Avenger, Mighty Avengers Movement, Painkiller Jane Price of Freedom, Protectors Inc., Reality Check, Regular Show Skips, RoboCop Last Stand, Spawn, Star Wars Lucas Drafts, Superman Unchained, Swamp Thing, Trillium, Uncanny X-Men hardcover, and X-Men Legacy. And that concludes this week's brand new comics.
All right. Oh, dude, I don't know why we don't have our little fade out anymore. That kind of bugs me. Oh, wait. Oh, there you go. There, your mic is up now, Billy.
I'm not gonna lie, like, I don't know what it is with scheduling sometimes, but this week is like, just basically like, don't give me your wallet, just give me your bank account number, we'll give everything.
Shut up and take my.
I'm glad my
I
local.
swear you're up too, dude. I'm sorry.
I'm glad my local theater has
Dude, are you glitching or something?
Shut up and take
It
my.
wasn't even on.
Oh, I turned it off.
He goes,
Oh, man. Shut up and take my.
shut up and take my.
Shut up.
I'm really lucky that like my theater has like $5 premiere nights because I really want to see Thor this week.
All right, you guys, you ready for this?
Yes.
No.
DC Comics coming to Burbank, California. Yeah.
Woo, makes no changes for me.
Yeah.
What? Why not?
Life's still intact.
Well, here's the thing, like,
Dude, you could literally sit out front of DC Comics and just like find Jim Lee and make him sign everything every day.
Why would I want to do that?
Here's the thing, like, here's what I've been hearing was that,
Sometimes we're creepers like that.
see, back in the days, like, you
Back
know,
in the days when I was a kid, no, not that. No.
well, what you have to do is if you want to work in the comic medium, you know, you move to New York, you want to live by the office where it's accessible, and, you know, you have to, oh my God, what are we looking at?
Oh,
Nothing.
Okay, well, I was saying, like, back in the day, if you had to turn in a script.
yeah. Don't stop on behalf of us talking on the side.
know,
We
that's-
don't stop when you talk on the side.
Yeah.
I need that time. Okay, back in the days, let's say you had art, you really had to find a way to turn it in a cost-effective way, but the deal with was, like, you know, today's artists, not all of them, almost none of them really live in New York. There's still a couple that live in New York, but in today's, you can email your work to DC.
Yeah, man. We
You'd
have
be like, here's
something-
my work. You know, a lot of people live...
Will they open it?
Yeah,
Is
you know why?
questionable.
Yeah, you know why? We have an invention
No,
now
I mean, like-
called fax machines.
Yeah.
So we can get them across.
No, but I'm
country.
thinking, like, today's, like...
Boom.
I mean, look
Thank
look
you,
at
Rene.
Jim Lee, or, like, I don't think he's in New York at
Do
all.
I have to?
A lot of these people
He's
are...
not a handsome guy, is what I'm saying.
Aw, I like Jim Lee.
A lot of the biggest
I'm saying
people in
he's not
DC
handsome.
are
I'm kidding, I
not
don't know
in
what
New
he looks
York. There's people in Michigan. There's people in Chicago.
I believe in a thing called.
And the thing is,
no,
like,
I believe Kyle Higgins is based out of I think San Diego.
Well, you know,
San Diego. Exactly. The thing is, a lot of things.
Oh
for-
man, Jim
for-
Lee is a good-looking guy. All right, sorry,
so,
Jim Lee.
So I think a lot of
Let's look this picture up.
for a lot of people, it's really not gonna make a big difference because as it is, they're just gonna email it to the same office anyways. Just it's in a
Yeah,
different
but
city.
I think the move
I think the move is
I-
actually good.
Tara Ta
I
Putty
think,
Tat.
I think I won.
No, but look at this is what they're thinking in their minds is continuing being in the mind over 3 years since it has the opportunity to run any business
Because they're joining their
they're
entertainment.
certainly not creative. They're certainly not a creative business, but they're also taking on two different coasts, which is Nilsson from the Wall Street Journal was breaking that down for us. Honestly, I think it's a smart move, man. Because first off, now you just explained that hey, you could just email your stuff, but that now pulls writers to come over to Cali. First off, second off, now they could really have the flame under your ass. Because it's like you have no excuse to not come into the office.
It changes nothing except for the fanboys, because now you can just be like, "Oh my God, DC's here in California." It's not going to change anything. Like it doesn't.
I know that Scott Snyder is
Doesn't-
still living where he lives. I think.
I think he's in New York.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
so he's
change
not moving.
anything.
He's not
Super
moving over
fanboy,
this
just relax. It's not going to change the business model.
Well, you know what?
You know, it'd be great. The new 5.
You know
that
what-
would be great.
You know
Let's
what?
do that.
You know what
DC.
Scott Liddell said? Scott Liddell said that everybody from DC that's coming to the West Coast is going to live with him, and he bought a whole bunch of sofas to live in his
Are you
house.
pumped?
I thought it was funny. He had this great story that like,
I like how you just let that fanboy talk roll off. That was nice.
yeah.
That's good.
it was funny because he talks about
Came
like
at him.
he talks about how sarcastic he is and how sometimes people don't understand. And he goes into a liquor store and the guy and he lives in Malibu. Didn't know that.
Of course he does. That's where Tony Stark lives.
He goes into a liquor store and he's like, "Hey, dude, how you doing?" He's like, "Oh, good. How about yourself?" He's like, "I'm doing good." He's like, "Anything interesting happened?" He's like, "You know what? Tyler Perry came in last night and bought like $400 worth of alcohol. They were just grabbing everything and getting anything." And like Scott Liddell's like, Are you trying to get me to buy $400 of alcohol?
Yeah.
Being so joking around and sarcastic. I go, no, I would never do that to you. And he's like, I'm joking. Calm down.
You are mean.
But you know what? I think it gives credit for people that aren't able to stick around, the DC Comics, or it makes them credible now. You're around the neighborhood. There's no
Well,
reason for us to not
I think
be able to
also-
get more expectation out
I
of
think
you.
also it's you're looking at like this is where all the movie stuff is too, man.
I know.
DC's going to start they're breaking into movies and television, and I think Arrow has been a really big hit, even though it's filmed in Canada. I think Arrow's been a bigger hit than they expected, and so they're going to start maybe looking
Much
into
bigger.
Yeah.
But also think about how iconic DC Comics, just I'm not trying to say shop. What am I trying to say? The headquarters over in New York is so iconic now they're about to open a new chapter. Imagine like 50 years from now, the people that are going to walk through those doors. It's going to become another.
Someone
another
mentioned this in
landmark.
an article that almost nobody goes to the DC office, so that they don't really care. Like as far as New York, nobody really goes in there. Like,
Yeah, it's because
nobody really cares.
you know why? It's because DC could be anywhere because their comics now Marvel being in New York. If they move, people will be like, "Hey, what you doing, Marvel? Can't move to California." That was my new.
Spider-Man.
You were
No.
Spider-Man.
Well, this is the
Superheroes in New York.
but DC's very tight.
In your mind.
No. That they've explained this. That DC's like a very
Tight
if you were to walk into DC, they'd be
you're
like,
in the
"Oh no,
inside
sir,
circle.
who are you? Do you have an appointment? Oh, you need to get the hell out." You walk into Marvel, they're like, "Oh, look, geeks, nothing new."
Stanley, he's welcoming. He's an ambassador.
He's the doorman. That's what he does in his spare
How
time.
are you? How
They're
are
not
you?
letting him write new
He's
comics.
like the
That's for sure.
doorman
No
in
way, man.
Wizard of Oz.
No,
Why did you
he's like
say
Tommy
so?
Lasorda. You just cart him out there.
Yeah, he can't write new comics anyways.
No, but
he doesn't have the mindset.
That's why you just cart him out there like Tommy Lasorda. Put him on a dolly, have him wave at the folks, then wheel him back in.
Yeah, one of the quotes, like you guys already said, is that
DC is not that tight. I think like if you have to be in their inner circle.
let's just cut me off. Go for it.
Yeah, hey, you do it all the time.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't
what-
get mad when
Watching
people do
Hellboy.
it to
You know what? I said what I have to
Watching
say.
Hellboy.
Go for it. Go for it.
I'm watching Hellboy now.
Oh, he's watching Hellboy?
Okay, good.
Oh,
Anyway.
you guys gotta go back to the show.
Oh, good. So anyway, let's talk about something interesting. So,
Okay, like you said, like both. First off, Billy did address that DC, like nobody goes in it. Then you address that it's not that big of a change. So it says right here. I think practically, we're not going to be missing out on anything. I'm 100% sure that we can maintain the commitment of our business to the exact same way that we have for the whole operation
don't
here
see
in
it.
Okay,
Burbank.
whoa. Okay.
whoa.
So basically, DC's still gonna suck.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Let
you
me
did not.
let me finish. Okay, there are
I'd love if they
there are
moved to LA and
talents.
dropped 48 titles. That would be awesome.
There are talents and other resources in New York area that
Yes.
we have access to, but fewer and fewer are there. So it is a compelling reason. There is an emotional aspect and a legacy to the publishing industry in New York and DC specifically that will not be missed out on. But we will acknowledge that everything around us is real.
So I don't see it changing their comics very much, but I think what it will change is maybe
The media should.
the media. But I think they want to be close. I think because see when Disney bought out Marvel doesn't have to move because everything's out here. Disney has everything out here.
They
already.
weren't in Burbank, but where were they? It was Santa Monica?
Somewhere out there. Yeah.
Because I remember driving by, I was like, Marvel, and I took a picture of it, and then it said for lease or for sale. I was like, oh, they moved.
Yeah, they moved. They just moved everything into Burbank. But it's a good dude. It's hard to do business in California, so we'll see if they stay.
I think it'll be good because hopefully their media really takes off. Because you know what? I really want a lot of the writers to be close to the people who are putting out media.
I really want them to start filming.
Wonder Woman, maybe.
Filming
Dash.
Arrow in LA, so I can maybe run into Felicity Smoke
Yeah.
when I'm just wandering around the city. That would be nice.
So hot.
I like nerdy girls.
With
man.
oh, dude, so do I.
I like
Glasses
lower level oracles.
that can actually walk.
Have you seen her? Felicity Smoke is actually Firestorm's mom, but her first appearance in the comics was great because her and Firestorm are arguing, and he can change the atomic structure of things. He looked at
going.
he got her clothes. He caught her clothes and it turned them all into soap suds in public.
I gotta look this up.
All right, you guys. With initially Billy's last note with walking into
Wonder Woman.
Woman. Despite Thor: The Dark World and making huge bangs and everybody's gonna go see it.
I'm not.
I am.
Are we going to see it, Rene?
Jamie Alexander is trying to hint towards, hey, I just did Thor. I'm kind of into comics.
I'm kinda like
I'm
a
a
badass
huge
chick."
Wonder Woman fan. And it says, I really think that
has
if this is
potential.
the closest that we're ever gonna go to get to Wonder Woman, then I would be proud to play her. I hope that other comic book entitlements can learn a lesson from Marvel in how to execute a female character that should be done.
Boom.
Boom. I really would like to one day see a Wonder Woman film or a Wonder Woman character, but until it's done with class, I'd rather it not be done.
You know what? I think like when I see Thor, the Dark World, and the original Thor, and I look at Wonder Woman, I'm like, dude, this is how it should be done. Dude, does anybody really research Nordic mythology? It is not about space people. And
Yeah.
it's like if you were to apply the same thing to Christianity, there would be like the Bethlehem constellation, you know.
Well, I think
and it's not like that.
Where did I see that it was explained that somebody broke it down? It's like where was it seen that like they were like we thought they were gods, but they were just aliens who happened to have that culture. They happen to have the Nordic culture. They were like the forebears of Nordic culture.
Yeah, you don't have to
so
know.
They're not really demigods. They're aliens, but that's the culture they adopted.
You know, this thing with Wonder Woman, it's like, look, you don't have to know all of Greek mythology. You can break it down real easy. And I mean, do you have to know all her villains?
No, you
don't.
You just need to know what's going on the island. Get Trevor in there. Bring him to the United States.
What's a popular villain? Cheetah? Everybody knows Cheetah.
Sure, or one of the any other of the Thundercats. Any of them.
No,
I mean, you know, Hephaestus, her brother, the weapons maker. You got Zeus, her dad. She Orion's kind of in the mix.
Maybe that's why they're gonna do the Justice League movie, and then from there they're gonna branch. They're gonna branch off.
Yeah.
It's not Justice League movie is not happening.
I don't think Justice League Dark. Why not?
It's not gonna happen.
I mean, like, because that's the thing too. With like, you got to cast a lot of people, especially these characters that've been around.
Look,
for
they had
years.
Keanu Reeves as fucking Constantine. Okay, we could get a Justice League movie.
But,
It may not be good, but it'll be a Justice League movie.
It's the same thing as like casting Wonder Woman, you know, because
you
have this idea of Wonder Woman as this strong character of this woman that's like powerful and everything. You just don't know what she'll actually look like in real life.
They actually had a panel at Kamikaze. It was freaking hilarious. It was why nobody could get Wonder Woman right. And they broke it down. I didn't go into it, but I actually had a conversation with a friend that was there. And she started explaining all this stuff. And I was like, why do you think of all this? And she's like, because I'm a girl.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah,
touche.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it comes down to is like if you want a Wonder Woman character or a good Wonder Woman story, you're going to have to get, first off, not only a strong woman actor, but a strong woman writer to write down something.
Or write someone who can write a girl character well.
Veronica Mars.
Kristen Bell, you want her to be Wonder
No,
Woman?
I'm saying
She's adorable.
I'm saying
She's
that
cute.
the people that wrote that, maybe.
A long time ago, we used to be friends.
Two mice fell into a bucket.
I don't know, man. Wonder Woman, I think they pulled off the Avengers somehow against all odds, and it worked. And it's because you had a guy like Joss Whedon who can write stuff like that. But it takes a special skill. Justice League is so hard because the difference is that, as much as I tout Marvel, those were like the B-list Marvel guys when they put the Avengers together.
Yeah.
Those were guys that like weren't selling a lot of their own titles, so like we'll throw them into one book and make a team out of them.
And now they're like.
And what really did, I mean, the movie that really did it was Iron Man. You know, Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man. People didn't care about, aside from Jarrett, shout out to Jarrett, people didn't care about Iron Man before.
What about the Incredible Hulk?
See,
the Hulk was always kind of a B character too.
Yeah, like everybody knew the Hulk. It was basically characters people knew about. They just didn't really know how great they really were.
Yeah.
And when you saw these movies, you saw how extraordinary these characters
I loved
were.
Thor and I loved Captain America.
Yeah, I mean, no, they're great characters, but they just, like Rene said, like they didn't get as much exposure as Spider-Man or the X-Men or for the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, those were the big.
Those were the
teams.
biggies, and so they just didn't. There was no way to. And I think the thing with Justice League is you're putting all of your A-listers in one movie, so people have way high. The expectations are much more high
because you're gonna have because you have Batman, Superman, Flash, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and then
just
those
the big,
are the meat.
Just
ones.
the big three. Like I was telling Billy, we were talking a little bit about Arrow, which we'll get to in a minute, but we're just saying like you can never have Batman can never really be on the show because he's too big of a character.
Yeah.
But you could have Nightwing in there and it would be awesome. Like,
Yeah.
and there would be a connection to the rest of the DC universe, you know. But yeah, it's just those characters are so huge and the expectations are high. Look what happens every time they make a Superman movie. Like Superman, they still haven't done a Superman movie that's done
Right.
like,
Yeah.
right. You know,
Not even the original ones either.
No.
Like the
No, no,
80s
no,
ones.
No. Yeah. They
I think
were
the second
really
But you know
one-
what was really good was the animated series of Superman.
yes,
That was
good.
which was no. But look, for a long time, Batman, the animated series, that was the best until the Christopher Nolan trilogy. That was the best Batman that had ever been done. That wasn't in the comics, you know. Because it was, and what did they? But look at how they had to retool it. They had to make it like this weird time. Like it had no specific time. It was kind of retro, but it was kind of futuristic at the same time. It was almost like this alternate, you
Because
know.
of the Zeppelins.
Yeah, it was like this alternate Earth.
What was
Almost
that
like,
one villain? Hardak?
Oh
Remember
yeah,
Hardak?
that's right.
The
That's
computer
that's
villain that made cyborgs?
That's right.
That was so weird,
I
too.
forgot about that. But yeah, they that was the way they had to do it. But that finally got into the character, and I think the characters are good enough. You just have to have the right writer to do it. But like I said, since it's basically your A-listers, you don't have time to go back and give them the backstory. You have to assume that everybody knows the backstory. You know what I mean? The genius that they did with the Avengers movie is that they gave everyone a backstory, and then they're like, now we're going to throw them into one movie. So you got to do the same thing with, but you got to make, okay, you've already done it with Batman. Batman's a lock. People,
yeah.
Batman's,
Like,
that's awesome. You're not gonna,
yeah. People don't really need another origin story.
people don't need another origin movie for Superman, but you got to get Superman, you got to get Wonder Woman in there, and you got to get a Green Lantern movie that people give a shit about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I addressed that recently at Kamikaze when they were arguing about it. They go, you know, DC did great with the Batman movie, and you know, so far they're doing really good. I was like, yeah, well, what about the Green Lantern movie? And everybody started laughing.
You know, that's the thing. Like right now, Marvel is kind of like, I think Marvel's kind of kicking themselves for before they really started to get control over the movies they're going to do. You know, giving away the rights to Spider-Man and giving away the rights to Fantastic Four, who are arguably their two biggest. You know, so now you.
But that was
and
so
the
long
X-Men.
ago,
Yeah, it
and-
was. But Marvel really wasn't. They were really trying to gain like a footing in Hollywood. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
And now they have it, but it's like now you got like your biggest character.
I know. Now
you
they're, like,
can't have
tightly
him
lipped,
cross.
It was literally them stepping, like they took a step and they're like, all right, we're going to take another step. But unfortunately, our foot that we already stepped in is in freaking cement.
Yeah, exactly. Now your
Yeah.
biggest character, Spider-Man. And I like the Sam Raimi trilogy. I know a lot of people hate the third one. I'm whatever about it. But those first two were great. And, oh, yeah.
Oh, no. I
Oh,
hated
yeah.
them.
They were
I
the-
hated all three Spider-Man movies. I thought they were
Those-
horribly done.
First of all, Sam Raimi, Army of Darkness, Evil Dead. That's all you need to know. Shut it. And secondly,
Okay. Wait, because like I will agree with Mario. The Evil Dead movies were good, but then again, I have to agree with Matt that the Spider-Man movies were not really all that great, but they were good, but they weren't really what I expected.
but
to be.
you also have the benefit of having, like, now you see how superhero movies are done. Whereas
Yeah.
before, that was the biggest superhero movie since maybe the original Batman in
Yeah,
'89.
it's
Yeah.
true.
Back
I
then-
remember that being really
Back
good.
then, you thought X-Men was good.
Yeah, it was much. Yeah, you watch the X-Men now; it's terrible.
Yeah, I agree,
Yeah.
dude, because back in the day, I thought X-Men was amazing,
No,
and
you
now
watch
that
it
I'm
now,
watching
nothing-
now,
Look
it's like,
at
these
look
are
at Wolverine
horrible.
screaming and
Nothing
doing this
happened.
all the time, and it's awesome.
Nothing happens in those movies. If you watch the first couple of X-Men
Oh,
movies,
the X-Men, yeah.
absolutely nothing
Nothing,
happens in
yeah.
those.
It's
And
all
then
just
when they
talking.
get,
It's just randomness.
But then-
Why does the mayor become a mutant? Don't fucking understand
Yeah.
it.
Oh, look, it's Magneto. Who's the next? It's Magneto. Who's the next? It's Magneto again.
Where's Apocalypse? Who?
Right?
yeah, and I think what happened was Spider-Man really showed. Spider-Man was the first movie that showed how much potential there was in a comic book movie because that thing made over like 200 million at the time. It was
Yeah,
huge.
when
Those
it
were
first
huge
came out,
numbers.
yeah.
And so then, I remember, when Batman Beyond first opened, it didn't make a ton of money. It was a hit, but it didn't make it. It wasn't until
Batman Beyond?
or not Batman Beyond, Batman
Forever? Returns.
Batman Begins.
Oh, Batman
Batman
Begins.
Oh,
Sorry.
I loved it.
It was good. No, it was a
I
good
liked
movie.
How many
it.
damn
I liked
Batmans
it.
do we have to go through right now? Batman
It was
and
a-
Robin.
It was a great.
Actually, I saw it like 3 times in theaters, and to this day, as far as the Nolan trilogy goes, that is still my favorite.
But it didn't make Spider-Man money. but what it
no.
did was it showed what you could do with the comic book characters. You can like kind of set them in a realistic world. I think with Spider-Man was so cartoony, but I think it caught the spirit of Spider-Man fine.
It did.
I think
it
Iron
did.
Man 3 was trying to copy that whole, like, they have Henry Ducard also is Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
And, like, Iron Man 3, they, like, make Mandarin and this extremist guy two different people. And I
just one time in a comic, I want to hear who's Bruce Almighty, the guy that played God?
Jim Carrey?
The guy that played God.
Denzel, no,
Morgan
Freeman.
I want to hear Morgan Freeman narrate one of the comic book movies just for fun.
I just want to have him read
Andy
a comic book.
Dufresne. Tony Stark went through a pipe of shit that day.
What was that? The guy who did Darth Vader, he narrated the beginning to the first Judge Dredd movie.
Did he?
Yeah, he was like, and in the
James
future.
Earl Jones?
Oh, that's
James,
right.
Yeah, James Earl Jones is
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and in the future, America is
Mega
held-
City.
Mega City 1. It's like, it's protected by the judges.
Did you ever see the Family Guy where they make fun of that? They're like, this was worse when they tried to cast James Earl Jones as Darth Vader,
Oh, and
and he comes
Gully-
in and
Gully's
his
all
guts
sticking out.
hanging out. And they're like, we'll just use your voice.
Oh,
No,
good stuff.
but oh god, we went so off topic right here.
We were talking about movies. We were talking
Yeah.
about DC moving out
'cause
here.
We got into Wonder Woman, and now we're at Marvel.
Well, no, what we're talking about is how you
Look at
now you-
DC set it up, but Marvel did it right, just like everything else in the freaking world. DC set up an idea, but Marvel totally did it right.
What idea did they set up?
That you don't have to make it so you could use the character, but you don't have to follow everything dead on, and you could still make it serious. Even like the first Marvel movies were like, all right, cool, like yeah,
Well, there's been
that,
some
these
terrible
are these are
Marvel
really
movies,
good.
yeah.
These are really good. But then out of nowhere, when it started up with this umbrella, before the Avengers, dude, kudos to them. Other than Captain America, the rest of them I didn't like Captain. We
Dude,
have this
Captain
conversation.
America was awesome. I don't know why people don't like Captain America.
you know why?
It was slow, man. It was slow.
It was awesome.
boring.
I loved how
You mean
slow.
because there was like
Dude,
2 Nazis in World War II, and everybody was part of Hydra? Admittedly, that was like, I remember I saw like one swastika
Renee.
the whole movie. I was like, that's it?
You can't do swastikas anymore, man. Plus,
No,
Indiana,
swastikas
Indiana
are out.
Jones really put down the swastika population. He's working.
Would that not be funny if they had like a little, just like an ode to Swazi in the next Star Wars, and just Han Solo just like decks him in the face or something?
I love
I
it.
have something. Wait. I gotta say this because I saw this on an episode of Big Bang. Is that when Sheldon was showing Amy Farrah Fowler Indiana Jones? She watched it, she liked it, but she said Indiana Jones wasn't important in the movie. The Nazis would have found the Raider anyways. And once you really think about
Found
it, they could have.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones was like unimportant.
No, yeah, he's just trying to get it for himself. Yeah, the Nazis would have the arc would have just gone back.
Yeah.
Like, God had a handle on it. Thanks, Indy. God has.
Yeah, it's funny because like you see the characters of the show. Think
Diplomatic
about it.
immunity.
You're like, wait. Oh,
Yeah, but that's the great thing about that character. Well, just not to get off, but that's the great thing about Indy. He does everything accidentally, or just like he's not. The great thing about that character is he's not as good as he thinks he
no,
is.
he's not perfect.
Yeah, and he thinks he's really awesome. Like that whole scene where he's thinking about the idol and he's like putting, and it just like he misjudges, and then the whole temple comes down. But that's the whole character, like in a nutshell.
Yeah,
He's
but they
not
did a
as awesome.
horrible job on that fourth one. I don't even acknowledge.
There was
Kingdom
a
of the
fourth
Crystal
one?
Skull. No, there
It's
isn't.
a
There
trilogy.
isn't. There isn't.
Trilogy.
There was a trilogy as far as I remember.
When you get the box set, it's a trilogy and a coaster.
It's like people.
Yeah.
It's like people that talk about. It's like
That was the most. Hold on.
I'm not gonna
hold on.
lie.
Renee, hold on. Renee deserves this. Renee, this is for you.
I want you to go in that bag and find my wallet.
Which one is it?
It's the one that says bad motherfucker.
Thank you very much.
I'm not gonna lie, the Nazis lost World War II because if they can't put up a fight with like an archaeologist, they're sure it's not
That's
gonna
right.
put up a fight with soldiers.
that's right. Man.
I might add, they weren't as skinny as they were supposed to be because they were all methed out back in World War II.
Who?
it was
The
called-
Nazi soldiers.
That's another topic for another day.
They weren't methed out.
It was called Tankish chocolate. But
No, you wait. No.
They were
wait.
methed up, but they weren't methed out.
Whatever.
Messed
No,
up.
you didn't know. Like that's why, like during like blitzkriegs and stuff, Hitler was like, "Here, this will make you feel good," and they basically crushed up meth And that's why they were on like such an adrenaline when they fucking ran into blitzkrieg's and stuff. They talk about it. Have you not seen like World War II?
Google Tanker's Chocolate because that's what it was called.
Pet pills. We had the same thing.
Yeah,
we
it's
called
basically what it was.
We had the same.
They
we had
hit
the
it.
sa-
It was called Tanker's Chocolate.
we had the same thing. We called it pet pills, but it was basically speed.
Remember Mommy's Little Helper? I remember the first time I heard that song by Rolling Stones, and like I was like, "Oh, it's about this kid who helps out his mom a lot."
Nope.
Then it's like, if you take more than one, you'll overdose. I was like, "What?" That was good.
I love
And so, what are we talking? We're talking about Arrow now.
talking about the Nazis.
No, I'm actually about to break down the Rolling Stones. I was listening to a Rolling Stones song and it was like, "Baby, come with me tonight. It'll be the greatest time ever." I was like, "Gosh, dude, what a little rapist, man! Like, just let it go, dude."
All those 60 songs, man. It's all very.
Speaking of rapes, was anyone else uncomfortable at that one scene in the last James Bond movie, where it's like, "I was a sex slave," and he's like, "I'll jump in the shower with her."
Yeah. You know what? You're right. Yeah.
Like,
When it really sensitive.
I'm
guy.
sorry, that like really creeped me out. I was like, "What? What?"
What a dick.
This guy is like, he's like, you know what I noticed about James Bond? It's like, you know where I might find intel on my mission? If I bang this chick. It's like every movie. He's like, if I bang this chick, I might get key intel on my
That's
next
what
mission.
they make fun of that in Austin Powers. Remember with a lot of vagina?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And like he farts in the tub. I actually just saw that recently. Dude, that movie still holds, man. Every time I watch Austin Powers, it
One
is.
of the greatest comic books of all time, obviously.
All right, power round. Greatest comic book story you have ever read. Go.
Wow.
Oh, dude, really?
The Killing Joke.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because that's the one that really, before then, like that never happened before. You never put like nobody had ever done anything like that to a character. He took naked pictures of Batgirl and he shoots her in the back and then paralyzes her, and then takes naked pictures and sends them to Gordon. Like that is seriously twisted. That had never happened in comics before. That took it to a whole new level.
Grant Morrison.
That was the game
Do
changer.
you remember the end of it? How controversial because nobody knew what happened.
Yeah.
Grant Morrison breaks it down and says that the reason there's no more laughing and there's no more sirens is because Batman broke the Joker's neck. That's why it's the Killing Joke. So technically, Alan Moore wrote the very last Joker story that had ever been written. Supposedly, the only thing that it doesn't have is an onomatopoeia saying break. So that's Grant Morrison's eye on it. Billy, what do you got?
Wow. It is such. I'm going to stay with Mario, sort of, and go with Watchmen. Another Alan
That's
Moore.
another good one.
Another Alan Moore one where, I mean, I've never seen such a, like, in-depth look at superheroes. Like, when they first tell me, it's like, oh, there were superheroes, but that was 15 years ago. I was like, oh, the story seems like it's going to suck.
No,
Nope.
because if it takes, it's basically, it's all the archetypes. So you have the Batman type, you have the Wonder Woman type, you have the Superman type. You have
It's like the perfect
You have the
Justice
mutant type.
League or Avengers.
Yep,
It was like
One.
Captain Atom, but Dr. Manhattan.
yeah, it takes all
Instead
the
of Blue
archetypes.
Beetle,
yeah.
it's like Night Owl.
Mhm.
It's and
Yep.
instead of the Question, it's like Rorschach. And like, I remember just like everything was so deep with every single issue, with every single psychological profile, with every single character, even the backup stories.
Yeah, it
Everything
addressed everything.
was great.
What about you, Rene?
I guess I have to say Death of a Family, with the one when Jason Todd dies, where
Really?
I think
you
for
mean,
me,
no, that's Death in the Family.
Yeah, Death in the
with Jason
Family.
That's
yeah.
another one.
So
That's
that-
another big
yeah,
one.
that's another one that Batman truly realized that what he was doing is taking these kids in and putting their lives in danger.
Yeah.
You know, after what happened to Jason, you know, he really thought about like he really regretted what he was doing, and even regret what he did with Dick. You know,
Yeah.
with Nightwing, because what he became. You know, he became a superhero, but he thought, well, what if he didn't? You know, what if he died just like Jason did?
And you're also feeling the effects of that story now.
Yeah.
With Red Hood and the Outlaws and all that. It still resonates throughout the
It
DC.
does, yeah.
I am going to have to go with Batman the Cult. The Cult was probably the most random story that I ever bought, and not only that, it was just it was the first time that Batman had killed with a gun.
Oh, yeah.
He was brainwashed nonetheless, but still, it freaking happened.
It was the
And
first time he broke, really.
Yeah, it was the first time that he realized he really doesn't have control. And oh man, it's
That was brought up in Death of the Family, like, no, Death in the Family, where Jason Todd dies. He mentions that like, when he's trying to track down Jason, he's like, it's hard for me right now because I still haven't recovered from what happened in the cult.
Yeah. Like, it's one of the most ridiculous things I highly suggest reading it. That's probably one
It's
of
what
my
happens when
favorite
you leave the
stories.
city to only Jason Todd to protect.
Basically. All right, guys, let's get into our very last story. November 15th, the Make-A-Wish Foundation turned to a 5-year-old named Miles. And they let him be Batman, basically. Miles is fighting leukemia, and they gave him a costume. They gave him a Batmobile. They gave him a sidekick and 2 villains to fight. There was something similar that happened in San Francisco, if you do not recall me talking about it. The kid... No, it was a couple of months ago.
This is the same one, isn't it? This
is a different one. Remember, he wanted to be Robin, so Batman came and picked him up. This is... The kid wanted to be Batman. So they gave him a sidekick, and they gave him 2 villains to fight, which was the Riddler and the Penguin. And they basically, like...
They didn't give him the Joker?
They didn't give him the... Imagine, though, like, Joker just comes and just beats the crap out of him with a crowbar.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that would have been horrible. But there was a car chase. There was a damsel in distress. There were elements of the Batman adventures. The Penguin's getaway car will be visible.
Oh, no, this is going to be on
Union
November
Square.
15th.
Yes.
Yeah, so it hasn't happened yet.
It's about... Yes, sorry. Thank you.
You scared me.
This is going to happen over in San Francisco again. That's kind of weird because the first one happened in San Francisco, too.
They're a good town except for their baseball team.
You wouldn't, you Dodgers fan.
Mm-mm.
But nonetheless, dude, oh my gosh, Make-A-Wish has been doing such beautiful
Oh,
things.
the awesome thing is at the end, since it says a villain will be kidnapping a famous San Francisco mascot, and Bat-Kid will rush to the rescue. His last stop will be City Hall, where the mayor and police chief will thank him and present him with a key to the city, and a crowd will be cheering him on. Since he wants to be a superhero, we felt like having a large crowd there waiting with signs and cheering him on to make him feel like a hero. Not just because he battles villains and help fight crime, but because he's a true hero. That is freaking awesome.
That is cool.
Can you imagine, dude? That kid's going to flip out. That is.
I'm fucking crying.
Don't cry, man.
Don't cry,
I'm
man.
crying. Oh,
That's
crap.
amazing, dude.
That is good stuff.
To actually,
Hats off to you, Make-A-Wish.
But not to San Francisco.
No, dude, that's awesome. No. Hey,
It's
I
no,
said,
they're Giants fans.
like I said, aside from their baseball team, I love it. It's a great city. But yeah, that's cool.
That's beautiful, man.
And you
That's
can do
funny.
something like San Francisco because San Francisco is a city, but it's a small city.
Yeah.
So they can really
It's almost
they can,
like a mini New York.
they can pull it off like that. They can pull.
Yeah.
So good for that kid. That's awesome.
It's just so.
Don't
I
cry,
even wanna
man.
talk about it.
Don't cry.
It's just hence why, like I've already told you, we
Power
have
round.
talked about on here that I do want to start a nonprofit organization. I actually got pushed into the right direction,
You
and
do
believe
have
it
a
or not,
nonprofit organization.
it
It's
was
called
because-
this podcast.
it was because of this comic book shop. Some guy actually guided me into the right direction for applying for grants and telling me how to go about it because he works for a nonprofit organization. So it'd be amazing to have that dream become a reality. I'm hoping within the next 3 to 5 years that it is possible. Let's go ahead. Let's break down Arrow, and not only that, but the comic books that we read. So go ahead. I hate to say, let's try and make it a little quick, dude. We're running about an hour and 20 minutes right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it, huh?
Arrow, my God. So,
Do we have a little League of Assassins going on?
you know what? It was teased in the episode before that, and then this episode was more about the mayor. There was a villain called the mayor. And
Was he the mayor?
no, he just called himself. He was the mayor. He was a typical black guy, typically calling himself the mayor. And I mean that really. That's what you.
I'm
should
like,
say.
was that racist or not?
No, it was more racist on the part of the show. I was really
Yeah,
like, that's the first
exactly.
time, that's the first time in that show that I gone, wow, they really just went all stereotype. And the guy like they made
Yo, bro, like I'm just trying to do this. Like the hood came up, not my fault, dog. Like,
yeah,
you know?
it's so
No.
yeah, the gangsters the gangsters are so Like that hat, like they're wearing like the really shitty like baseball.
Wait, was it like
like
in Malibu's Most Wanted when they do the infomercial?
It looks
No,
it
looks bad.
It looks so bad.
Okay, so admittedly, this
We could just forget what clit we're from, what gang we're a part of, and
he's
just
like,
be
we rule the
brothers.
glades.
No, I never really thought of
About
that
that.
before.
And then it's
Yeah, they just made it back.
I admit it, like the end made it feel a lot like Batman Begins.
A little bit.
Yeah, okay.
Did it go?
Here's the thing.
Remember
that?
that's the stupid horn that they have.
That was not a horn.
That's a horn.
Stop doing that. You're scaring me.
Okay, Brother Blood. Brother Blood's on the show, and you know he's a villain because he's in the comic.
Brother Blood?
Brother Blood.
Brother Blood? What?
He's a white guy. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, you would have jizzed your pants at Kamikaze because somebody dressed up as Booster Gold.
Nice.
We don't want to get. Also, I have a question for you when you're ready.
So
When you're
Brother
done.
Blood's there, and like you're like, oh, when is he gonna turn into a villain? And at the end, when the mayor fails, like he shows up with like a scarecrow mask, and he's just like, it's like you're supposed to have been helping us, and he got like it looks like Venom, the stuff they pump into Bane, and they just pump like the mayor.
I think it's Venom.
Yeah, it looks like Venom. Yeah, and he takes out the mask. You're like, oh, it's Brother Blood. But yes, they are. The next episode. If you have not even seen the trailer for it, like the promo for the next episode, it looks hot. And
What's the
like
promo?
'cause
Sexy hot or like cool hot?
in season 1, where they
You
ask,
said hot.
okay,
Yeah, right?
the Dark Archer, like in season 1, where like his son asked him where he was after his mom had died, he says that he spent 2 years in Nanda Parbat, where like he had like no direction, but he found someone who gave him direction and a purpose.
Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, Nanda Parbat is where the League of Shadows is.
The League of Shadows.
But
So-
like,
I think that they can work Nightwing into this show easily,
oh yeah.
and they need to. But I don't know if it's gonna. You said there's legal wranglings, but
For some reason, they can bring in all the villains, but not the allies.
the allies, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
they-
it's weird. All this stuff is happening in like all the villains are coming to like Starling City. Like,
yeah.
They're just like, dude, we got kicked out of Gotham.
You know what else made it
The
feel?
Dollmaker died, by the way. Spoiler
Did
alert.
he?
Spoiler alert.
The other weird part about that
Arrow
very
in the
episode
face.
that made it feel like
Again?
Batman.
What happened to we're not going to kill any enemies?
You know what it felt like in Batman? Like it felt like Batman in that very episode where like he had to talk to like Quentin Lance, the police. He's like, "Where should we meet?" I know, on the rooftop of the police building.
Yeah, yeah. He's basically he's basically Batman.
They're just doing like little odes or homages to.
But it's not in a bad way because I love Batman and I love Green Arrow.
It's a
In
really
fact,
well of the 70. Like I said on my Facebook, Billy, the 75% of that show that isn't a CW teen drama is really cool.
I'm not gonna lie. Part of what I like about this coming issue of Green Arrow is that it's kind of a crossover with Zero here. I like it.
20% of the all right, I lied. 15% of the cosplayers this year at Kamikaze, Green Arrow,
Oh yeah. Well,
and it was like OG Green Arrow, TV show Green Arrow, a lot of TV show Green Arrow. It was a little ridiculous and annoying, but at the
how
same
many
time,
Hawkeyes?
Hawkeyes? Not one.
Nobody's reading comics then. 'Cause
And that's
an
what I'm
awesome
saying.
comic book.
I'm like,
I would have gone as Pizza Dog.
So what's
can you wait, just dress in like all white and then have a collar?
Yeah, real quick, Billy.
Yes.
My wife and I were debating this. What we commented on the fact that Black Canary looks way more attractive with the mask. When we don't want to give away her identity, but when you find out who she is, and then you have the scenes there, you're like, you are so much more attractive with that mask on.
Oh, Katie Looks? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, it's time to get into our very last subject, which is comic book reviews.
It was a fifth week. What was there to review?
Dude, Teen Titans Annual.
Teen
And
Titans, go!
And Superman came out
Teen
last
Titans.
week for like a
When
little
there's
for a
trouble, we
conclusion.
can run, mama. Teen Titans. When,
Okay.
Gosh.
Go for it. Teen Titans! Go for it. What did you have to say? What is Scott Liddell
the-
writer, right?
Oh yes, I wanted to get Scott Liddell to sign my Teen Titans, but oh man, I got to read that, and there was a Superman issue that came out too. It was really good.
The Action Comics?
No, but I do have to pick that up because apparently Teen Titans and Action Comics tie into each other somehow.
Oh, well, yeah, Scott Lobdell picked up this Action Comics, and I'm not going to lie, since Grant Morrison left Action Comics, it's not been stable. So I'm hoping that gets fixed soon.
So, how has it been running with Scott Lobdell?
He only did like 2 issues.
Lobdell, he gets me.
He did 2 issues only.
Oh, he's only done 2 issues?
Yeah, it was the Andy Diggle thing, and then like Scott Lobdell did 2 issues, and then 24 was somebody else.
How is my man Diggs?
He only did 1 issue. It was a 3-issue story arc, but he only did the first issue, and then like he quit.
Do you think they
And
named John Diggle after Andy Diggle?
They did.
Did they?
I mean, like Andy Diggle, you know, his brother died by Deadshot.
Yeah.
His brother was John Diggle. Was Andy Diggle, I think.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, because of my love for Scott Lobdell, I
Chuck Liddell.
will officially be jumping onto
Teen Titans.
Uncanny X-Men.
Oh.
Because apparently he
you-
is writing that as well.
What else
correct.
came out last week?
Not only that, but I also told Rene, because of my
Kenny's the only
love
one I'm not collecting.
because of my love for the Deadpool game, I will be jumping on Deadpool as well. So, really, we're gonna end the show with that now.
By the way, before we leave, I must say I
Teen
was
Titans.
slightly disappointed. Andy Kubert.
Andy Kubrick?
Kubert,
Who's that?
the son of Joe Kubert.
Who's that?
The
He
video,
did that Joker issue, and he also did Son of Batman.
What
by
about
the
him?
way,
He died?
we have to talk about this song so we don't get in trouble.
You just
I like this
you're
song.
just throwing out a name for no
song
reason.
I did not like Damien, Son of Batman.
Oh.
Oh.
That's all you got to say, Billy. Don't speak in riddles. Edward Nigma.
Oh God. I actually am buying it right now, so we'll see how it goes. The art was horrible, but how was the story?
Who's going to be in the back of
Art
the whole?
is great, actually. Do you remember? Did you buy the Dirk?
Did you not just say the art was horrible?
I
or
said
you-
the art was great and the story was not.
Oh, really?
Did you read the Joker issue?
Yeah.
Imagine the same thing, but with Damien.
Huh.
You know, the narrative is there. Like, you know where it's going. You just don't know why it's going there.
You're like, I don't care. Is it like Earth 1 or Earth 2? Spoilers. Earth 1 or Earth 2? Like what? Why is Damien back?
It's not explained. It's based, but trust me, like, it's almost like as if he had never died. Sort of. They do explain some possible death he had and how he came back. But trust me, it goes places where you're just like,
Why?
And the
What?
ending, it's like, first of all, you don't even know why it's going there, and the ending even raises a bigger question. Wait, then why did you really even go there? Like, the ending does not make sense.
So it's usual
When you're
DC.
just like, what?
It's usual Andy Kubert. Like, it's like, yes, you graduated from the Joe Kubert School of Art, and good for you. You really look like the top-notch artist, but your story sucks. You're not a Joe Kubert. You're getting off on your dad's name.
Dang.
Wow,
That's
Billy's
Billy
like,
telling it
this
like it
is
is.
yeah.
Okay, guys. So
Here's the
All right.
real last thing. I know I addressed it earlier, but Kevin Smith has confirmed it that they are going to be finishing their 3-part series on the Batman run, and because of the new continuity, they are going to have like Batman like killing and doing stuff like that.
is Kevin Smith ever going to make an actual film?
He is in the middle of making Tusk right now.
No, but like a movie,
He's also making
not like a
Clerks
film.
3.
Film not like jokes that are filmed. Is he going to make an actual movie?
That's why he's making Tusk. It's a horror movie. Do you even know what Tusk is about?
No.
It's you should listen to his podcast.
Do I even care?
Go
Yes.
for it.
No.
All right, you guys.
I've switched on Kevin Smith. I used to be a big Kevin Smith guy, and now I'm kind of flipped.
He kind of opened the podcast world for everybody.
No. No.
Mario's like,
no,
I don't think so,
No,
buddy.
that happened a while back, man.
Dude,
He opened it for you because you're into Kevin Smith and you like him. But there were a lot of big
podcasters.
There were a lot of big,
I don't even remember podcasting until like 2 years ago, maybe.
No, way before. Never Not Funny, the podcast I listen to, he's been running on subscriptions for like 5 years now.
So
He's been
3
making
years.
money doing a podcast like for 5. And he
When
had
are we gonna make
he
money?
had a podcast like 2 years before that.
Never.
No, too many people do it now.
Maybe Sue will hire us in the shop. I
It's
don't
like
know.
collecting comics. Everybody does it now, so they're not worth anything. And they print a ton of them.
Oh.
Everybody has a podcast. I have a podcast. You have a podcast. I wouldn't be surprised if Rene came in tomorrow and told me
Dude.
he had a
You're a
podcast.
dude. She's a dude, because we're all dudes. No Good Burger? Really, dude? Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take you? Why did nobody assume that guy was stoned constantly? Because I swear to God he was. What was his name in it?
Ed.
Yeah, Ed. Dude, he... Oh, man, bugged the crap out of him. Well,
Probably could have wrapped this.
once again, I am MTR, also known as Matt. Really? Once again, I'm MTR, also known as Matt the Rat. And as always,
Rene.
Billy.
Ding, da, dang.
see you next week, you guys.